All right, guys, we're doing something that we've never done before. We're going to set the prices of a frame super cheap so everyone can have a good frame. I think the moral of the story here is frames really matter, and we want everyone to find out why. Mr. Wild Willie is here with me today, and
What's up, guys?
so just pay attention, and we're going to explain why frames matter, and we're also going to announce the new prices of two of our best frames of all time. So here we are. Okay.
Back to Earth.
All right, so what we're going to say. All right, so we're trying something a little new here. Since Nick's here, we got the couches set up with their beautiful backdrop, and we're going to kind of go over these frames. So the idea here is that we just received someone's frame. They're having problems with it flying in properly. And it's just one of the biggest things we see with people is their quad doesn't fly well, and we tell them it's the frame, and everyone thinks it's like a woman's purse. It's just what it looks like, and they all fly the same, and that is definitely what I've not found.
They all fly the same?
Yeah, they fly the same. I think that, but do you think all frames fly the same, Nick?
I don't know. I'm a non-stick kind of guy myself, but like it.
I prefer peanut oil.
Yes, peanut oil. Vegetable oil is good for hamburgers. Anything else?
Grape
not.
oil, grapeseed oil, you can go real hot.
Oh,
so like for
really?
searing scallops, it's pretty good.
Oh,
yeah,
I'll have to
yeah.
keep
There
that
you
in
go.
mind.
That's a little tip.
Today
there.
on FlightOne Cooking Channel.
But I think you'll agree with me that you've flown other frames, and some of them just fly like poo.
Yeah, no.
I
So
would say-
it's one of the things where like the frame actually does make quite a difference in the flying and the flight feel of the frame itself, and it's really evident, especially when you take two builds that are nearly identical and you put them back to back with the same setup and even try to tune them right. You can't really get the exact same feel out of them, and that's people have been talking about that for a long time. In the extreme case of like top mount versus bottom mount, so people can obviously tell a difference there. It's pretty well known.
And I would say it's even worse than that because some frames just flat out fly like crap. Like you get oscillations. We've even seen frames where the quad just flies out of control because the arms are so noodly.
Yes.
Like it really makes a difference, your frame design. Some of the most popular frames on the market honestly fly the worst, which I know that's hard to say because you just spent like $80 on this beautiful piece of artwork. But sometimes it's not about the price necessarily. It's not about, a lot of like what it looks like. It's about how it flies. And I guess we can go over a few examples of what we mean by that. But it's also how you build it. If there's room for everything, stuff like that. I'll give you a good example. So someone sent in this frame here, and I'm not even sure what it is. But one thing we noticed, we took it out of the box because he said it's flying bad. So we said, hey, just send me your quad. He couldn't figure it out. He's been tuning it. He's been messing with it. It just flies really crazy. And the first thing we noticed is we can move the arms like crazy. They're moving like crazy. Now, Nick looked at it and basically saw that it uses, I don't know, what does it use? Some sort of just normal nuts?
Yeah, so the first thing that I noticed is like, it's only got 2 bolts holding the arm in place, which isn't a bad thing, assuming the arms lock together. 2 bolts will be fine. 3 points of contact is good. So if you have all the arms meet in the center, like what the Dolphin 1 does, they lock together there, but then you have 2 other bolts outside, basically keeping it from wobbling. But you also usually want to have press nuts in the frame because they will actually grip, and you can actually really, really torque them down without having to get, say, some needle nose pliers and going into like the guts of your frame and then torquing them down there. But some other frames just use standard lock nuts, which are nice because they're cheaper, but you can never get them torqued down nearly as much as you can with the press nuts.
I think the problem is, so if you're relying on the clamping force to keep it together, it's always going to loosen up over time. Even if you get it just wrenched down so it's loose, it's going to loosen up because if the holes are bigger or even the same size as the screw, that's going to happen. Now, NASA, they use interference fit, which essentially means the hole is actually slightly smaller than the screw that's going into it. So if you had 2 screws that were exactly lined up and they're interference fit and you put them together, you're not going to have play. Like that's basically what interference fit is. However, they're a bitch to put together.
Yeah,
Like basically you're screwing it into the carbon at that point, putting together. So the Dolphin, for example, we've designed. So literally, you could have one screw in this arm, and because of the way it goes together in the middle, it will keep it basically from moving much at all. Like you can even loosen the arm screws, for example, and I think it'll be pretty stiff still.
Yeah, no, you can run as long as you have that center bolt there. So the center bolt is definitely the tightest of the interference fits. So all the arms meet in the center, and you have a center bolt that when you put it in for the first time is a real pain because you're literally like screwing it like into the carbon of the arms, and that basically applies an outward pressure, basically forcing the arms, even though they're clamped like this, it's forcing them out against the carbon as well, so they're really stuck in place. So even if the bolts do start coming loose, they're not going to jiggle around a lot. So another thing is, if you don't have any bolt like that in there, if the clamping force, like the screws start coming off, the arms are going to start jiggling around a lot, and then that's when you run into some really big issues that if you don't realize your arms are loose, you're going to be fighting oscillations and hot motors for just days and days and days.
And to give you another thing we check on frames, one thing I do, and someone hands me a frame, the first thing I do is I twist the motors. So like this one is very twisty. I can freaking basically noodle the crap out of these. And what's happening is your motors are spooling up and down. They're giving that motion. It's turning like this, depending on what's going hard forward and back and braking and hard forward. So that really transfers in the flight controller. The other thing is if you can bend the arms like this, you see how they bend a lot, and this is significant because you're going to go down like that. You're going to go up like that. So the arm's going to basically go like this, and you have this extra motion in the frame, which the flight controller has to deal with. It's motion it doesn't expect. And so what happens is we either have to really filter it, so it ignores it, which kills your flight feel, and can also produce hot motors and all that kind of crap too. And yeah, you can probably filter the crap out and get it out of there, but some things you just can never get rid of. Like you're going to still have oscillations and things in it when you do this stuff. And also keep in mind these arms are your conductor for all vibration from the motors. So if it's a very thin, conductor, if it can bend like that, basically it's going to amplify the waves going into the flight controller. It's just like when you're at a beach, you watch the wave come to shore, and as closer it gets to shore, the bigger the wave gets. That's one of the reasons you want to use nice thick arms or nice wide arms, because it kind of clamps down on a lot of that noise. And
sometimes even having like the thicker arms that are like the 5mm arms on here. They don't need to be that wide, but that will help a lot with the torsional stability of the frame as well. And the torsional, and even having the meet in the middle, again, will help with keeping that torsional stiffness there. And that's a really big deal. I feel like a lot of people don't think about, but if you can take your frame and you can twist it in the motors and you can feel it twisting, that's when you instantly know that it's not gonna fly right.
So this is a good example. This quad's been beaten the crap. I can see by how dirty it is. Okay, this is Nick's personal quad. He obviously flies it a lot, but you can see it has a little bit of play in the arms, just a teeny bit. I can still make it creak. It looks like he might want to tighten some more screws.
Those bolts haven't been tightened probably a year.
And if you twist it like this, the motors won't twist at all. Like there's no twist in it really at all. So, and this is a frame that's been broken down over time, and this is a good tip to you too, is if you've flown your frame for a while and it starts to fly bad and they break down, it's probably the frame going out. Because if your arms start to noodle or your arms start to twist or they start to bend, remember when you buy the frame what it feels like, and when it starts to go bad, just replace the arms. Or, replace the base plate or whatever you think is breaking down enough. I mean, our frames are designed in such a way where the arms are sandwiched in the plate, so pretty much the only thing that's probably going out is the arms. And as they get beat up, just replace them, and your quad will probably fly like brand new. I mean, the same kind of goes for your motors. If the bearings start to go out on these motors, you can hear them if they're going out. None of these are going out, but they kind of make a
clicking noise.
Yeah.
I had my first bearings after 2 years finally give out last week, and I was so sad.
But so this is the Willie frame. Do you want to announce the new price? Basically, our idea is we're not going to make hardly any money on this, but we just so want people to have a good frame, so they have a good flying quad, so they understand that this is what we're doing. We're setting this price for quite a while, maybe indefinitely, depending on how it goes. And we have one rule about if you buy it for this price, and Nick will tell you the price and tell you the one rule.
So right now, for the current time being, the Dolphin 1 is up for sale for $35, like ship ready to go, and it still has the warranty as well. We are releasing the STL files for the GoPro mounts, or we're also now selling them in the store officially if you want us to print them yourselves. And the one rule for this is that whenever you buy one, you have to post in some other Facebook group, not the FlightOne group, about the $35 professional frame that you can now buy with a full warranty.
Yeah, keep in mind other pilots of Nick's calibers with their frames are selling them well over $100.
Well,
His frame was already an amazing bargain, if you ask me, because it truthfully is the best flying frame I've ever flown. But now it's $35, so no one watching this video has an excuse not to buy one and just experience.
And I have one specific rule: if you run this frame, you have to run the battery toilet tank.
I don't agree with that.
I will I will not accept the old standard hot dog style. I want hamburger style, right on top, toilet tank.
I'm team hot dog.
No.
Hot dog.
Toilet tank. Once you fly toilet tank, you never go back. It is.
I don't want to say there's a toilet tank sitting on my quad.
Oh,
so.
Yeah, until you fly it, and you're like, oh, wow. I'm a toilet tank everything.
But hopefully, you buy a frame, you buy a flight controller, and buy some motors, because, hopefully this helps sell other things, and then we can keep doing this kind of stuff where we're going to sell this stuff close to cost to hopefully get everyone a really good flying quad, because I've just been so annoyed by all these people having problems, and I know it's the frame, and people take it personally.
Yeah.
If you try to tell them that.
I mean,
because you spent your money on it.
I understand it.
Yeah.
I mean, if I just bought and I built like my precious baby quad, and someone's like, "I'm sorry, but that's not right," you're like, "But what do you mean?" Like,
yeah,
everyone else says it's right.
Dude, it has to be good because I spent $110 on it.
Yeah.
So there's no way there's something wrong with this frame. And that's the difference. I think, a lot of frames, like, we spend a lot of time on our frames. Like, we'll get the design, and I'll be like, no, we got to change this, or no, we got to do this, or no, we got to do this. And we do that quite a bit before the frame hits the market.
We went through, like 5-6 revisions of this before we finally,
I will tell you,
down?
Function always comes above looks. So that is the number one priority on our thing. The secondary priority is make it look good. Honestly, I love the look of this frame with the TPU. Without it, it kind of looks stupid.
But that's why we're releasing the TPU.
Yeah, so we're going to release the TPU STLs. You told them, so the other thing to keep in mind too is we never want stuff on the stack. I've said this 800,000 times. And when you're buying a frame, make sure it's designed. And if you don't buy our frame, make sure it's designed so you don't have to mount stuff on the stack. There's a place for the VTX. There's a place for the receiver where they're not on the freaking stack. That's just going to make your quad fly better. If you can keep this stack isolated like this one is, like this one has 2 places to mount stack. Like you literally could have 2 different stacks in this quad.
Absolutely.
So we could put plenty of room in there. Oh, and I forgot to mention, we now have a new version that fits the DJI. So I'm actually going to convert all mine to DJI ones. We're going to sell the plates separately. Basically, all we do is replace the top plate and the bottom plate. Once this batch sells out, they're all going to be the DJI version. But for now, we're going to put the DJI version up separately. And what it does is it basically takes that standoff like a 1/2 inch back. DJI fits perfectly there.
Absolutely.
And that's all we do, and it flies amazing as well. And it's just a perfect solution for it. So I don't know. Is there anything else we want to talk about this one before we get on the second frame? That's even better deal.
Oh, no, I think we cover pretty much everything. As long as everyone knows, toilet tank, not hot dog.
Hot dog, not toilet tank.
I'm never going to convert you.
Just because it's a pain in the ass to put the battery sideways.
No, it's not.
I got to put the strap through sideways.
Yeah, but you use a really powerful strap, so it never. I've not broken a strap in like a year. And you rip it open and you slip the battery in and you close it the exact same way as if it was running the other way. It's no different. Except it flies 10 times more.
All right, we'll try it. We'll try it. You can humor me.
You, in the double blind test, you will be able to tell.
So don't buy this, whatever it is. Buy this or some other one. Now, we don't want to leave those racers out, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, we don't want to just take care of the FreeStyle guys.
Even though we're the best. Well, I still race, but not really. But still.
Let's comment if you think DRL's real racing. I'd like to know.
No, it's definitely, obviously, it's fake. It's all scripted. The internet figured this out a long time ago if you didn't see on Facebook.
Let us know what you think about DRL, because Nick's curious.
Yeah, I am. I'm curious someone's finally figured it out.
Have you ever watched that wrestling? I hear it's a lot like DRL.
Yep, exactly.
That's what I hear.
Sort of.
All
in
right,
some ways.
so this is the Arc 1, and I know like we've made a new version, the Arc 2, we're probably going to call it whatever, with 4 standoffs, which I am still Team 1 standoff because it's lighter,
Yeah, dude.
and it looks way better.
Team 1 standoff.
Yeah,
there's no reason anyone should ever have 2 standoffs in the back of their quad.
Yeah, honestly, I'm for this 1 standoff, so that I'm gonna be on the record. What's nice about this one too is carbon fiber cam mounts, which get rid of jello and stuff in the camera. I love that over TPU mounts. The same thing, interlocking arms. This is so locked in. This is so unbelievably stiff. It's super light for how durable it is. To give you an idea, Evan Turner flies this quad. His record right now, 33.1 seconds, I don't know, something like that on the multi-GP track, was set on this Arc 1. This is a freaking amazing frame. I know that a lot of Chiefs records on there have been set with this Arc 1, and other people have set with the Arc 1. This flies amazing. This is the Sean Taylor frame, basically, that we did for him. But this, truthfully, is the Starving Leo originally, that we basically put 5mm arms. Don't tell Sean. And called it the Arc 1. But it's an amazing frame. To give you an idea of how long we've had this frame, we've had it forever because we've been iterating and finally getting to this point. I think one thing we did over the Starving Leo 2 is we made a 30x30 mount. So it can do 30x30 mount and it can do 20x20 mount. Some people worry because the stack screws are structural, but to be honest, they come right out. To remove the arm, you have to remove 2 screws, but we do that for a reason because it freaking is locked in. And they're easy to replace. You just remove 2 screws. They're in the press nuts, so you don't have to do anything weird. Pull the arm out, put the arm back in, put the 2 screws back in, and you're back in business.
Yeah, I think it's actually the exact same system as the Willie frame.
Well, that one you don't have to remove. I think you just loosen the center screw, right? Like the
center screw?
Like these right here. So you don't have to remove those screws.
You have to remove those.
Yeah, you do have to remove them.
So you have to remove them.
Okay.
But I figured this out. Like, this blew my mind. In case you guys don't know this. So, for the entirety of my FPV career, the worst possible thing you could do is break a bottom plate. Because if you break a bottom plate, the whole quad has to come apart and everything has to be remounted to a new bottom plate. So I broke a bottom plate on my Willie frame, and for 4 months...
Did you break your Willie?
I did. I broke it clean off. But actually, I super glued it back together.
I hear they use super glue for medical purposes.
So
was it like a field repair?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. That's why they use super glue.
Die situations.
It's better than stitches, I hear.
Depends on who you ask. But I broke the frame right around up at the front, and I instantly knew, I was like, oh my god, that's a full day totally of repair right there. So I just kept super gluing it back. For like 6 months, I kept super gluing it until it just gave out. It was dead. And I was like, all right, this is...
His girlfriend's like, you really got to get your Willie fixed.
Yeah. And I woke up earlier one day. I was like, all right, this is my full day to replace this bottom plate. And I pulled out the arm screws, and I pulled out the center screw, but I didn't pull out the stack screws. So actually, if you pull out the outer arm screws and the center screw, and you take the standoffs off, the bottom plate will come clean out, but the arms will actually stay attached to the stack. So you have the arms and the stack as one still together piece, and you can just transplant that whole thing over and 4 more bolts, and you're onto a brand new bottom plate. And it literally was 5 minutes. And I've never had a bottom plate swap go that fast. Everything has always been disassemble the whole frame, desolder your ESCs and your motors, resolder, take the arms out and put everything back together again with a new bottom plate.
And after all, we're about making things easy, quick, and we're trying to do that with the frames. Yes. If we don't want to sacrifice, what do you want to say? We don't want to sacrifice how it flies or anything for making it quick and easy. That's going to be first. But secondary, quick and easy is what we're going for.
Yeah, why not both?
Yeah.
Why not make it just ultra awesome?
And something we haven't really mentioned is we have a lifetime warranty on these frames. So you're paying $25 for this race frame, $35 for the Willie FreeStyle frame, and if you break a piece, basically you pay $5 shipping and handling to get it replaced. You etch, a ticket number in there. You give a support ticket, it creates a number. You etch it in the thing, take a picture, and you pay $5 for shipping and handling, and they send the piece out. For every additional piece, it just adds another $250. And so no matter what you do, you're guaranteed to have it warranted and get it replaced. Now, I don't think anyone on this planet, like they're literally cheaper than Banggood frames.
Yeah, we are literally about to sell out Banggood with the cost of these frames with a warranty.
Yeah, so
And
that's
they
just
don't fly like
crazy.
shit.
I want to see anyone else even come close to what we're doing. And the reason is, you know what? We decided we don't have to make money on these frames because it's more important to have you guys have good flying quads over making money on the frames themselves, because we want you to be, you know, like the FlightOne ecosystem. We all love it. If you didn't know, this is my son, Preston. He works on the code. This is Nick's actually learning, working on the code now.
Learning.
And I think I probably work on the code too, last I checked. So this is the whole development team right here, right now. At least when it comes to the firmware side. And we have some other people helping. We now have like Noah working on a super secret project that the next video we'll talk about.
AKA tomorrow.
If we wake up in time.
Yeah.
So give us a comment. Let us know what you think about this. Like us if you like cheap frames. If you hate cheap frames, you can just unsubscribe now, because just no point in watching any more videos. If for some reason if you're pissed off that we're selling these frames cheap,
Sayonara.
Just subscribe to the Bardwell channel. But other than that, let us know if you have any comments or questions. Let us know. I think the one question they're going to ask: are we coming out with a Willy 2? Not anytime soon.
No.
Eventually, yes.
Yes, that is a project that is on a list, but it's very far down on that list.
So right now, we're not selling it because we're going to try and clear them out. We are coming out with a new version, maybe way in the future, but that's not why we're doing this. The other thing is, if we sell out of the ones we have in stock and you want one, it takes us about a week to turn around frames. So basically what will happen is we see a bunch of pre-orders, we'll order a bunch of frames. It'll take, they'll get a cut in like 3 days, then 2 days shipping, 3 days shipping in China. They'll be here in about a week from when we place the order. So don't ever worry about that. Frames is one thing we can turn around really quickly now. We have a really good relationship with our factory. And they're much easier to do in electronics because basically the carbon's just sitting there. We give them the order. We get top priority with the company we use, with the factory we use. So they throw them right in and they cut them out and then they sand them and clean them, whatever they do, and send them to us right away. And then we package and do everything here. So they just have to send us the raw cut carbon. So these will come quick if it goes past orders. Hopefully we'll sell out today. Somehow people.
I think we are almost already sold out. We have, before this video is even posted, we literally just changed the price, and within 5 minutes, everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's only $35." Like,
yeah,
we haven't told anyone.
I feel like people are literally on the website reloading, hoping there's a new product. Not that that's a bad thing, but then he decided to post. I had to delete it, so we'll let him post.
Someone else beat me to it.
Yeah, I was gonna block him from the group, but we let him stay. But I think that covers it. So, I guess one more thing. We do have, if you're into the pod thing, which I love carbon. Like, screw the pods. I hate the pods. Yeah. But we do have a pod as well. And one thing that's unique about this pod that's super amazing, it also has a little fin, and I think there's some TPU accessories to do the same thing on that. But one nice thing about this pod is I had one rule if we're going to do a pod, and it needs to have a place to mount stuff because I am really anti-mounting on the stack. So we actually put a channel in here, and I can't really show you. Hopefully there'll be pictures online of it. If not, hopefully Preston will put the pictures up. I don't know if you put them on the site, but it'll show this channel. So there's like a little shelf where stuff like actually pushes in, like it inserts your VTX and your RX into this channel, and it actually gives a flat surface to double side tape, and it has little like arms that come around it to hold that stuff in place.
Like a little receiver hugger.
Yeah, like it holds it close, and that is like. This is so much better than most pods. Most pods, they don't even think about that because they just want you to smash everything on the stack. And we are not. We're very anti-smashing everything on the stack. I mean, if maybe eventually we'll have something where you can maybe put the VTX and stuff on it. But right now, the way the stuff is done, the interference, it's just gonna make your quad noisier. You're gonna have to filter more, which is gonna make it feel not as good. I mean, it's basically, if you rub Novocaine on your arm, yeah, you're not gonna feel it if I prick you as badly. But
let's just not prick you in the first place.
Like let's just not do that. Like let's let the quad do its job and get all the good information it can so it flies the absolute best. Something you guys might or might not know is right now the top 5 on MultiGP, and for quite a while the top 5 have all been set with Falco, FlightOne Falco right now. So I'm pretty proud about that too. That's a pretty amazing feat for us to maintain the top 5. They're even team pilots, so that's even better, and those guys have been working really hard. But I'm pretty proud of that fact, and this frame, has a few of the guys have this to thank. But it's it's a great feat, I think, and some of the best freestylers are on it. I hear Nick's pretty good. Yeah.
I mean, I've also, this is like when I go places, I let everyone fly this quad, and there have been some pretty profound freestyle pilots and racing pilots I've let fly it, and the response is always just like, whoa. Every time I let anyone fly it who's never tried Falco, it is like an eye-opening experience. It's like doing acid, but for quads.
So we're going to give, I don't know, maybe 20% credit to the frame and 80% credit to me and Preston and Nick for developing it?
Exactly.
Okay. So Nick gets an extra 20%, but we helped with the frame, so we'll share that.
All right.
Okay, so.
Or but do dynamic filter.
And Truk, of course, gets some credit because he designed it.
Truk did all of basically the CAD work and stuff, and he's absolutely phenomenal and literally the quickest CAD designer I've ever met.
Yeah, he worked on this one too.
Incredible.
So it has been a pleasure to work with him on these. He comes out, he's very good at listening to what we say, doing it, listening to the feedback, getting it done. He just gets it real quick.
Very, very good at, you give an idea of what you would want, and then he can bring it to life.
I don't know if you mentioned about different arms.
Oh, yeah, okay, so you can go ahead and tell him.
Yeah, and then there's Stretched X, Hybrid, and this is the True X version. So there's arms for any layout you like, for everyone that flies a framing. I can't even think of any. I guess Squished X would be the only one that's not on
which
there.
technically
Which
you
I
could
guess
do.
You could do Squished X.
Yeah,
Or
and-
you can
and-
just fly the Dolphin one,
Yeah,
which
or
is a
you
Swished
really-
X.
but here's what's nice. So basically there is 2 arms that make it either stretched, so you could put with the same 2 arms on the front and the back that makes it stretched. Or wait, how would you do a squish?
Could you put them on
Well,
squished?
Squished X, I think you probably could just rotate. Have you never
I
tried
don't know.
it?
You do a squish test. So,
So,
in theory, it should
Here's
work.
what you do. You actually, when the last part in the configurator, or when you go through LS2, it says put your board on its nose. You just put it sideways, confirm it that way, and you just fly your quad sideways.
Well, you could probably do that. But so I want to tell you, by the way, Evan uses the hybrid with the wider part in the back. I kind of like the hybrid with the wider part in the front. I think you should try that. That's interesting. Someone try it and comment if they like that better or worse. For flying, if the X is less stable in the air, so it doesn't want to lock in as much. So if you're the guy that likes to turn in the gates, I'm not that fast, but I still like to turn in the gates. Like basically, as I'm going through the gates, I'm already lining up my other turn. Okay, the X is perfect for that. I think Sean flies the X. He loves the X for that reason. Evan likes the hybrid, which is kind of in between. It's not as locked, but it's still somewhat locked. The camera decided we filled up the memory card, so we're back to, I just realized everyone's going to be out of focus in this video.
Yeah, it was at 2.8. It's a little late now.
All right, well, guys,
Well,
if
you'll be in focus.
one of us is going to be in focus. Whoever decides to put a box around their head. Right now, it looks like me and Nick are in focus. Team focus.
Woo!
Yeah!
Sorry, Preston.
Yeah, sorry. He'll be slightly. It's like he's a protected witness. Next time we're gonna put it in a better, not 2.8. So
Yes.
that we're gonna put down the checklist. But anyways, so yes, the X frame, it is not near as locked. So going through gates, you can maneuver really quick and move it around. If you're new to racing, you probably don't want this. The hybrid's kind of in between. Some guys like it, some guys don't. Some guys think it does nothing. But it kind of is in between feeling. I think one thing it does is move the props out of line with the other props, so maybe a little less prop wash in the other props, I think is their theory.
Yeah, I mean, the further away your props are, especially your back props, the less dirty air they're going to get, which is always good.
But honestly, you're flying like this, so
Yeah, when
if the
you're-
prop wash is hitting the other one, that logic, zero sense
when
to
you're
me.
in jet plane mode,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Your props can be anywhere you want.
I
It
mean,
doesn't really matter.
guys are flying 70-degree angle, I feel like. So if they're getting prop wash, that's a miracle. And then the stretch, the reason a lot of people like stretch, and they've been pushing it, especially a year or so ago, I think it was even bigger. And some frames are stretched. Lost my little fin because I didn't put the screw in it. Some frames are,
time?
yeah. Some people they still like stretched and still popular, but it gives a really locked-in feeling. So when you're going in the forward flight, because the arms are stretched out, it's more engaged. All the motors are working more equally, because what you need to think about is when it's like this, obviously the motors are the same distance apart, right? So they're all going to work equally going up and down, but as you tilt it forward, in order to get, if you draw a line here and a line here, and you see this distance compared to this distance, in order to get it to more close, you need to stretch it out. So the stretch angle is basically kind of like, I think about this angle-ish, 45 degrees. The motors equalize. So I think that's the theory. So basically what that does is, in general, when it's flying, because the way a quad works, it doesn't matter. Like that's why it gives more locked-in feeling. But it lets the 4 motors operate more at peak efficiency, so they're basically running at 100%. And you can verify this with logs, even though we don't have logging right now. But if you wanted to install some of the other stuff, we won't mention.
Yeah, like 1.2.94.
Yeah, that's true. You can just use stable FlightOne.
Everyone forgets. Everyone's like, oh, I have to flash beta flight flux. No, the old FlightOne stuff does logging.
Yeah, I don't want to think about that. Yeah.
It's dead to us.
And the reason we don't have logging right now is because it's really not a priority. We're going to have to make another video on this. But basically, I would rather spend the time automating all the freaking filters than spend the time doing all this logging crap, because if you can figure out filters, I'm pretty sure I could write some code to do it for you. So I don't really get the logging. I mean, I understand people are all into it and they want to geek out. But that's not really our market so much.
Well, I think the biggest thing about logging is that for most cases, when people are using logging to tune their filters, you look at a log and you're like, yes, there's a lot of noise. But it's not like, oh, there is a lot of noise. You do exactly set a PT1 low pass filter at 300 and then a PT1 low pass at 170 hertz. And then now you have no noise. All you see is there is a lot of noise that is about here. But you can't, like, there's no way to then from that actually determine what your filters need to be to actually get rid of that noise.
And truthfully, if you set your filter at 160 because your noise is at 170, well, the cutoff, the way it works, you might actually not get rid of all that noise. And to be honest, if you set it at 150 and 160, are you going to notice a difference? No.
Yes.
So noise is in a certain range. If you set your filters below that range, and keep in mind as the quad flies, as it hits things, as the props get nicked up, all this thing, the place where the noises changes, there's, you know, people are like, oh, the notch filter is the greatest. There's a lot of reasons we don't think that's great. This is not the place for this video, but in general, you don't need it for noise, especially with the magical dynamic filter that Nick had a huge part in making. I like helping come up with the ideas and then letting these guys do the work and taking all the credit.
I came up with that dynamic. That was my dream.
I don't agree with that.
What are you talking about?
Preston?
No,
when did I talk about that? But how long before Nick even was involved did we talk about it?
We talked about it.
And we told you. And then you're like, oh, I came up with it.
What? No.
No, 100%.
No.
All right, we're going to take a vote.
All right.
Who here thinks Nick came up with it? Raise your hands. Who here thinks Nick didn't come with it? Raise their hands.
No, I swear I talked about it a long time ago.
I love how people think they came up with it. I will give you this. You did code it. I will concede that he coded it. He's really learning. So that I'll give him credit for that. Like, let's just be honest. We didn't invent the idea of the dynamic filter. Although we are doing it a lot different than any other dynamic filter out there.
Absolutely.
I'm just going to say we came up with it together.
I will happily.
All right. All right. So then we're going to give everyone here credit. We have nerd talk secretly, and then we come up with ingenious ideas. I will tell you, they had nothing to do with sim mode.
No.
Absolutely nothing. And I picked magic numbers for it, and we've never found better.
Yeah. No, it's definitely.
It's that good. But they're going to try and come up with better magic numbers. Good luck.
Yeah.
And
if we had logging, obviously.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem. We just have no logging. We do have logging we use for development, but it's different high speed stuff.
Yes.
Not bad words. Keeping this family friendly. Okay, so I don't know how we got on this tangent, but the bottom line is X more maneuverable, hybrid little less maneuverable, more locked in, stretch even more locked in. This frame is 25 smackers. That frame is 35 smackers.
25 smackaroonies?
In euros, I don't know. That's like 28 euros. I don't
Isn't
know.
the euro like, it's like less. It'd be like 22 euros.
Yeah, it's more. So it'd be like 28.
Only 22 euros.
No, it's a euro worth more. Oh, maybe you're right.
The
No,
euro's
it's even
worth more.
cheaper. All I know is Big Macs are expensive.
I can definitely tell you in Australian dollars, 35 US is right around like 38 Australian.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You're it, really? All right. Check it. 25.
All right, let's race. Let's see how. Come on, here's your typing race right now. Go.
No, well, yours is already
No.
out. I have to like finesse
Oh,
my
no.
wires.
Nope. Go.
I will
Let's see.
secede.
Oh.
That is that.
Wait. What is your bid?
25 US dollars to Australian dollars.
This recorder is dying.
Is it dead?
Well, it died and then turned it back up. Well, now it's dead.
No,
51.
25 US dollars.
I was talking about your frame.
Oh, I was talking about the Arc 1.
Okay, it's $51. It's $35. And what did you think the Arc One was?
The Arc 1 was 25 and I said 38.
I feel like we're gonna rewind this video, and that's not what he said.
Oh, 36.92.
So you get a bargain. You save
Look
$1.
at You live somewhere for a long
But
time.
anyways, you can't beat it. Do resellers have this at this price? No, because we're losing money.
It's like a Rick and Morty skit.
Yeah.
Is anyone selling this? No, they're not dumb as we are.
Yeah. If they want to lose money and sell you other stuff, then they can have it for that price. I feel like these guys, resellers, they sell their own stuff where they can undercut everyone. So this is one of those things for us, I guess. Everything else, we're not going to blow out flight controllers or anything like that. We want to take care of the resellers in general. But these frames weren't selling anyways, and they're amazing, which is kind of frustrating. I give away definitely more of these frames.
Definitely the Arc 1s.
Everyone has an Arc 1, didn't pay for it, I feel like. I'm pretty sure no one has ever in the history of frames bought an Arc 1. I mean, I know that's not really true, but it feels like it is.
I know.
And for some reason, every racer wants a free Dolphin frame as well. But at least we've sold a few of those. So thank you for buying it. And no, we're not screwing you because you paid full price. Nick gets to eat oodles and noodles one more night because of you. Now he wanted to lose weight, so he's just going to go on a diet now.
Exactly. This is for you, Andy.
Yeah. So by buying one now, you're helping him lose weight because he's not going to be able to afford to eat. Exactly. So maybe buy some of those pink motors on it. They do look amazing on it.
They do.
And they look amazing. Listen. One more thing before we finish this up. 2,300 motors. We're going to need to do another video on this.
Yeah.
They are the perfect motor size. We won the DR1 series thanks to these freaking... This motor right here, this motor right here, in fact, this exact motor, except not 2,700 kV, won DR1 for us. Like we brought that out, and it was perfect. Because what is nice about it is, if you're on a tight track, or if you want to just cruise on your FreeStyle quad, you pull out your 4S pack, because you have a lot of 4S packs. Still maybe in your collection. I still like 4S. So I put some 4S on, have a nice cruising.
Like your practice laps, your warm-up laps.
Yeah, or
like
you're freestyling around. You flipping flopping for some trees. That's perfect. And now, but you want to start buying 5S packs? Then 5S is it's awesome on it, right? It's more power. It's oh my God, this is so amazing. And then if you really want to get crazy, and yes, you're going to exceed the amp limit of the ESCs, but they should handle it. Throw some 6S pack on there and let it eat. Actually, if you can do that with Falco, I guess you can tell everyone about your little secret. We have a special throttle limit mode, and it's not just limiting throttle. It's limiting motor output overall, which other softwares don't do. So, Nick, tell them what you do.
Yeah, so actually, I will run 2,300 or 2,700 kV on 6S and actually just adjust the throttle cap normally. And the great part is since it's basically, it caps and basically rescales the motor outputs, your tune will scale with it as well. So if you have a 4S tune on 4S 2700, you apply a 65% throttle cap and you put a 6S on, your tune will stay completely the same and you'll be able to fly it around just normally with no issues.
And this only works because of the proprietary throttle limit thing we have in Falco. It will not work in FlightOne, and it will not work on any other software. If you do that on a 2,300 kV motor and your ESC burns up, make sure you write Nick because you exceeded the amp limit of that ESC. You're more than likely to fry it, especially do it on 2,700. But if you're using a throttle limit, it actually will run more efficiently because higher voltage uses less heat. It doesn't need as thick as traces, and at the same time, you have still the same good performance you have. I think efficiency will go down slightly.
I actually think it goes up. I actually do believe your efficiency goes up with the higher KV, but your torque goes down.
I think in terms of efficiency, I think the battery's not going to last as long. I'm pretty sure it won't.
It does. I can guarantee.
All right, someone do that test
side by side,
and put that in the comments.
2 quads, and I thought
he also thinks toilet tank battery's the way to go.
Because toilet tank is the way to go. It's proven by like science or something.
He has his degree in toilet tank battery tree.
Toilet tank technology.
He's really a plumber.
That's my other alias. We have Wild Willie and Plumber Willie.
All right, so this video has droned on and on. I hope you're slightly entertained and you haven't fallen asleep now. The secret code to get everything free is 732198.
46.
Okay. So if you're still watching, no, just kidding. That won't do anything. But I guess that's it. Make sure you hit that little bell so you actually get notified of our videos. Subscribe to Wild Willie's channel. I think just search for Wild Willie FPV because I probably forget to put it in comments.
Don't, because like, you know.
Subscribe to this channel and like, hopefully. And if you feel the need to thumb down this video, just leave the channel. Okay? And I think that about summarizes it. Any of you guys have any finishing words?
Nope, I think we covered that times 10.
All right, we're going to do another video, probably not right after this, but hopefully another video tomorrow. Nick's going to be here for a while, and he's actually, fingers crossed, moving to Arizona so we can do these things more regularly. All right, that about summarizes it. If you have any questions, as always, put them in the comments. Hit me up directly. Ask Nick directly. He loves it when you private message him. He hopes thousands of you do it.
Absolutely.
It pads his ego a little bit every time. And that about summarizes it. I hope you subscribe to our channel and subscribe to his channel, and we are out.